Alright, welcome back. I'm still trying out our game to see the latest developments that we could make to it. My name is Charles and I've been your tour guide on this journey, discovering the cool features of Scratch and the things you could create with Scratch. Alright, now my game is really responding and I'm enjoying it, even though the hearts may be a bit hard sometimes. Yeah, so it's kind of cool though. The hearts, getting to the hearts and making the game really as interesting as possible. Yeah, it's really cool what you can do with Scratch as a language for learning the basic principles of coding. Okay, now what are the key things you should take away from this particular project? Alright, so we're going to go through the different sprites and their codes and see what we should learn from this project. Alright, it's a cool game, right? It's a cool game, so I'm going to stop it now. Okay, now the first sprite we would be learning, will be taking lessons from, is the heart sprite. If you notice the heart sprite, there's a forever loop, and we said the forever loop is that loop where we put stuff that we want to happen continuously all through the animation or the game or the story or whatever it is we're creating using Scratch. Okay, so in this case what we simply said is when the green flag is clicked, whether you click it here or you click it here, do whatever comes after it. Okay, so the forever loop is there to ensure that everything that's inside it gets done continuously, not just once. Alright, inside the forever loop is the go to random position, and go to random position helps us to basically choose different places our sprite can be on the stage. So a random position might be here once, the next time it might be here, the next time it might be here, you know, just things at different positions of the stage, on the stage and off the stage. Okay, now once it goes to a random position anywhere it is, next set the x coordinate to 250, and you know x is across the screen, as in it's horizontal, right? So the x coordinate means it could be here, it could be here, it could be here. Alright, so the random position will help us change the y coordinate by default. We don't need to do that. However, what we need to make sure is in place is the x coordinate. Why? Because from the middle of the screen to the right all the way to the extreme right, we have 250 for the x coordinate. Okay, what that means is that my heart would always seem to be coming from the right hand side, somewhere behind the scenes in my background. Okay, and that's kind of cool. Now that same logic applies to buildings, because we also have the set x to 250 for buildings. Okay, now the next thing that comes after the set x to 250 block is the repeat block. Now this repeat block is quite special because inside it we change the coordinates, the x coordinates for our sprite that we wish to animate. And we by changing only the x coordinate, it means our sprite will end up moving across the screen in that fashion, in a straight line. Okay, and that's good because that's the motion we want to achieve, isn't it? So we move across the screen. Now guess what? If it's true that from the middle of the stage to the extreme right is 250 on the x-axis, then from the middle of the stage to the extreme left would also be 250, but it will be in the negative direction. Okay, now what that means is total across the screen is 500 points on my x-axis, and that also applies on the y-axis because we kind of have a square here. Okay, so across the screen vertically 500 points, 250 in the positive direction for y, 250 in the negative direction for y. Okay, now that fact also applies to the x-axis, like I said earlier. Now what that means is if we want our sprite to go across the screen, we would have to deduct some values from x in such a way that the sprite's x coordinates will go all the way from 250 to minus 250. Okay, so that means it spans a distance of 500 pixels, if you like, or 500 points on the x-axis. Alright, so this repeat block simply takes advantage of that fact and reduces the x coordinates by a certain fixed value, so our sprite moves in a kind of smooth fashion. Alright, so what's basically happening is the x value is reducing by a fixed number, and it's reducing by that fixed number a number of times. Alright, so if you want to be able to get the right values for what should be here and what should be here, then just make sure that the product of this number and this number is in the neighborhood of 500. Okay, because it's going all the way from here to here, and that's spanning 500 points on the x axis. So let's say tomorrow you want to build a game that the sprite goes from the bottom to the top, or from the top to the bottom. Then you have you can equally use a repeat block, but this time you will be changing the y coordinates by whatever value you wish, and you'll be repeating it the number of times, such that the number of times you repeat multiplied by the value you're reducing it by would the value in terms of the magnitude, the absolute value would be in the region of 500. Okay, now don't forget, if you are going from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom continuously, then you would have to set y to 250 or minus 250 if you want to go from the bottom to the top. If you want to go from the top to the bottom, then you'll be changing it by you'll be setting y to 250. Alright, then we also saw in our cat sprite, the flying cat sprite, that we needed navigation keys. Alright, and we set the score to 0, put the if statement in a forever loop, and ensure that the cat, whenever the cat touched the heart, we increased the score by 1, and we put a wait block somewhere. Now we'll talk more in the next video. Okay, can't wait to see ya.